Welcome to the Bloom Era. Join Marie, Michelle, Vita, and Michelle, 4 lifelong friends, on our journey through perimenopause. We'll share our stories, insights, and laughter as we embrace this new stage of womanhood. Let's bloom together. Why am I so nervous?
What are y'all feeling about old lady weight gain? Do you feel it? Are you doing about it?
I definitely feel it. We were talking earlier about how I've started a new meal plan, workout plan. I've been, going pretty hardcore for a whole week, which I've done before, prepping for competitions and stuff like that, and 0 weight loss. And I was like, whoa, you expect at least a pound or 2, the water weight, to come off because I've, cutting out all the junk food and stuff like that. But it's well, why didn't it move at all? It's just so much more difficult to lose weight now than it was just 10 years ago. Had I done the same thing 10 years ago, it would have been, I would have seen a loss of 4 pounds, even though it's just water weight and whatnot. But I don't know if it's just hormonal that you're just holding more weight and more inflamed, more inflammation and whatnot. So I definitely know it's just harder to lose weight. I don't know.
Yeah,
you've experienced the same.
Absolutely agree. In the past, you would be okay, my pants aren't fitting as right. I'll start watching what I'm eating for a few, weeks or whatever, and then it would come off. But now it's I've been watching what I eat all summer, and the weight's staying the same, and it goes to different places. I used to never have a lot of weight around my stomach, and now I start to carry weight on my stomach. So yeah, it's different places, and it's hanging on there more than in the past.
Yeah, my weight definitely moved to where it's being stored after babies, more in the stomach, less in the booty. However, since I had gastric bypass last year, I've been losing weight, so it's hard to tell if the menopause thing is causing any problems. But when I see the scale and I step on it, as long as it's not going up, and it's an okay direction for me. So to me, Vita, you're talking about, you didn't lose any weight, but as long as you didn't gain while you're doing it, then you're also still on the right track.
True, but it's a lot of effort to just maintain being consistently 40 pounds overweight,
I told my husband that too. I was I go to the gym 5 days a week. I walk. I eat I watch what I eat. I do a lot of stuff just to stay slightly overweight all the time.
What about you, Marie?
I truly did not care about my weight at all. And I think a lot of it's because I do have a 2-year-old, so I kind of just know, in my opinion, until a kid's 5, then I'm your body, and I've nursed forever, apparently. So I'm still nursing. So I've got all those hormones. I've got menopause, possibly hormones going on. And so I've just kind of put it on the back burner. But we did this recording thing 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I was guys, I don't want to be y'all are all trying to lose weight and get fit. I'm I better start caring or try it. I felt I was back in high school again. Crap. I could not care about how I compared to other people, but sitting here doing this, I'm I'm gonna have to start caring. And I'm fighting an uphill battle. I mean, there's too many hormones at play to really win.
I feel you have to care. If you don't care,
I mean, no, it's just now it's in front of you. Oh, you don't want to be you don't want to not care. Even though I did, everybody else showed up super cute and makeup on, I still showed up me. But I'm just oh, I think I just seeing us on camera. Oh, yeah. I was
let's kind of talk about that. Let's move on from that menopause symptom to talking about how things have changed. So we've known each other since we were 12 years old. So let's kind of talk about how our ideas towards beauty and our body have changed since then versus our 20s, 30s, and now. Because I would say when I was younger, I did not care. And I don't know if a lot of that was just privilege, because I was I never struggled with my weight when I was younger, so I just didn't have to care, or I kind of prided myself on not caring. I didn't wear makeup. I didn't care about being into what was popular. I didn't care about how I dressed, and I was oh, I'm the smart one. I don't need to care about beauty. And now I do care. I put more effort into staying, and a lot of it is because I want to stay healthy, but I mean, honestly, some of it's because I'm vain. I want to look a certain way, and I dye my hair, I get Botox, I do stuff that I would have never thought I would have done when I was 12 years old, and so I can't
affirm that we never saw you becoming a Barbie doll.
Yeah, I think this is a lot different than who we knew, I guess, back in middle school, high school. But I'm not super surprised though either. It wasn't
it was an organic.
I don't feel inauthentic for caring now.
Yeah,
but
I guess I cared back then, but I was always the bigger of any of my friends, so I noticed it more. So, like, I didn't have the privilege to ignore it, I guess, because I did have that extra weight that the others didn't have. Looking back now, it wasn't a major amount of weight. It was just bigger than the other girl. It was the size 0.
That's the part that makes me mad. Like, all these girls got
my
robbed.
7 was crazy this to her 0, but now a 7 would rock. So
that's the part that makes me mad. And like, when I see like young girls out, and I'm like, I know that you're probably like technically your group's big friend, and I'm like, you are so gorgeous. Don't you dare waste your energy feeling bad about yourself. Like, because I look back at our pictures. And I'm like, none of us were big.
Yeah. I mean, I look back, I think I always cared. I grew up with a family of 3 other sisters. The Asian community is kind of known for being a little bit smaller, more petite. So I wasn't big either. I was just kind of bigger than the average Asian girl, I guess I would say.
Which Vita was tiny.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't big. And that's the same thing kind of what you're saying, Michelle. Like, I thought I was big. And then you look back in photos and you're like, I wasted, like, there's a meme out there, you know, but I see it all the time. It's like, I wasted my skinny years thinking I was fat. I should have just embraced the size that I was at that moment and just, like, loved myself and whatnot. Now, like you said, I wish I could get back to the size where I thought I was kind of chunky. And I wasn't. It just... Your mindset when you're younger, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I guess you should don't see
those
yourself
around you.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I still care about my looks now, though. It's just not as big of a priority because I have a husband and kids. I'm trying to make it more of a priority just to take care of myself. But I mean, I've let myself go just because it's not. I just don't have the time to commit to it like I did in my 20s and early 30s. But you know, the kids are getting a little bit bigger. They're 4 and 6 now, so trying to make a little bit more time for that. And it's not even just a vanity thing. I just really enjoy working out. I like feeling strong. I like feeling like I can do stuff and not just have to be burdened by.
That's why I went ahead and went forward with the surgery. It was more of a being health kind of thing, like being able to do things without pain and, you know, hang out with the kids and play with the kids and not feel like I was kind of on the sideline when they were having fun, that I could join in. Kind of thing. And then the vanity part is there too. You know, you enjoy looking better. But the reason I made that step was more for pain management, I guess, and health management.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to you guys about earlier about there's a doctor, my husband and I were kind of following his podcast and stuff for a while. And he's a longevity doctor. And his big thing is like, what do you want to be able to do when you're 100? And then work backwards from that. So I was all about that. Like, so you got to be able, when you're 100, you want to be able to, falls are a big deal. So if you're on the floor, you want to be able to get up and you want to be able to sit on the floor with your great grandkids and you want to be able to pick them up and you want to, you know, be able to change a light bulb. So I was all about that. And then I tore my ACL and put me on hold for like a year. But I feel like I can get off the floor again now. So
You're winning.
I'm winning. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's easy. And especially when I talk to my girls, I'm really big. Like, no, mom just wants to stay healthy. I want to be able to keep up with you guys. And, you know, I make sure I don't say anything about like, I want to look good in a swimsuit. But I mean, there is that to it. And I never admit that like out loud usually, but not even to myself. But yeah, like I dye my hair. I do other things too that I'm like, it's obviously more than just health.
Right. And I'm like, so it's funny. I would say when I was a teenager or whatever, I was like cognizant of like, I want to be pretty. I want to, you know, like I did things to straighten my hair. I didn't wear makeup, but I don't think like I wasn't stupid. But anyway, so now, like I think about that, like if 18-year-old Marie saw how 40-year-old Marie leaves the house, she would be like, oh my God. Like, what are you doing? Like your hair is just frizzy and it's gray now. And I just like, there's so much that I don't, so I feel like we kind of traded places in a lot of ways. And I don't think of it like as like, oh, I'm so proud I don't care about that stuff. It's just like, part of it's because I keep starting over with kids. Like they're 6 years apart. So I reset. And like right when I feel like, okay, maybe I'll kind of get my me time back, then I have a baby. And then and it's just, that's a season. And I think that's important for like women to realize, like when you're in those baby toddler years, like you don't belong to yourself, but it's not forever. Like there is a light at the end. It's hard to believe that when you're in there. But so part of me is like, well, I don't, if I wait until I'm 46 to like care again, maybe I need to like start that process a little earlier. Yeah.
But after I had my first kid, I was like, it was the first one of my friends to have a kid around where, I mean, you had already had Otis, but we weren't living in the same city at the time. And they were all like skinny, super fit. And I was like, we were going on a beach trip 6 months after Kai was born. And I was like, I have to lose all the weight before then. So I did it, like probably very, like it was not like healthy mindset, but I just had to lose the baby weight. So I did it. And then after I had my second kid, I was like, no, give your body time. You know, it's been through a lot. And it was a lot mentally healthier, but it took 4 years or so to get back. And then you're never back after that. But
that's another thing. Like, do you feel like you do a good job not comparing yourself to a past version of yourself that will never exist again? Like, our pre-baby body will, like, do you still come? Because I look at pictures and I'm like, I know that girl's never going to exist. Like, I don't care what diet I'm on. Like, because that's an 18-year-old's body. Like, I will never have an 18-year-old body again.
Yes. I don't think I compare myself to my 18-year-old self or other 18-year-olds. I see them out and they look, they're so cute. And it's like, that's not me. I'm just trying to be the best version of me. And I feel like there's room for improvement there, I guess. I mean, it would be different if I was doing all that if I was eating more healthy all the time and like making the time to be more active, but I'm not. So I know that. So it's, so it's not like I don't feel like I'm trying to reach some unattainable goal or unrealistic goal. I just want to be a better version of myself.
I compare not to before I had kids, but like I got pretty healthy and fit and I was doing like 10, pull-ups and stuff. And I was like, I want to get back to that. So I compare myself to probably after I had my first kid.
Is that more of a strength thing or
I think so. Because I look at like, I used to be able to back squat 185 and I used to be able to do 10 pull-ups. So I think, I'm not saying, I don't know how much I weighed when I was doing that. I don't remember that, but.
Yeah, I don't compare to 18-year-old self. I think I'm realistic in my goals. But I don't compare to 20-year-old self either because I wasn't happy with that weight either. So I do want to be better than that. And I think I'm headed that direction. So I'm just trying to, I do compare to people around me that are kind of, my peers that I feel like are similar age, similar life circumstances, similar heights, and I'm like, okay, if they can look like that, so could I.
So what does beauty and what do you think feeling beautiful means now that we're at this age? We're going into our 40s, and what makes you feel beautiful? What are your goals as far as all that kind of stuff?
I think I'll take it back to kind of looking and feeling healthy. Like, I don't, I'm not really huge into makeup and stuff as well. But, I just want my skin to look healthy, look good, glowy. I don't need to be super thin, but I want to look healthy. I want to look like, I maybe not do a pull-up, but, I do want to get back to that. I just want to look healthy, I guess. I feel like...
Do you feel like you look healthy now?
I don't know.
I think you do. I think part of it is I think we have this idea in our head of what a 40-year-old looks like. And I don't think that's what a 40-year-old actually looks like because all my friends are 40. They don't look what I think a 40-year-old looks like. But I want to look like people are like, oh, wow, you're 40?
Yeah, I agree. I want to look younger.
Yeah, that's it.
But I guess you associate that with health, right? I don't know. Are you talking about big boobs, big booty, small waist? What do you mean by beauty standards? I don't, I guess.
Whatever it means to you, I guess.
And happiness, somebody who looks happy, somebody who looks confident. I think I want to be all that, I guess. And maybe internally I'm not as confident as I was. I don't see myself as good as before when I was a little bit more confident about myself.
So when did you feel confident about yourself?
Oh, gosh.
When did you think you were pretty? That's a Mean Girls reference. So you think you're pretty? No, you know what I mean, though.
Yes, I still think I'm pretty now.
Good.
Do I think I was as hot as I was in my late 20s, mid-20s when I was at the gym all the time? Probably not. But I do think there was a point where I was too skinny and focused too much on it. I don't like the way that looked either.
Right.
So there's a happy medium, I feel where I feel okay, I feel I'm my best. And a lot of it is about ability, physical ability, not being able to do a push-up like kind of sucks for me because I was able to do them, like, or just being like super like having a hard time getting through a 15-minute mile, like it's a downer for me. Like I just want to be able to do physically move and be active and feel good about my fitness level too. So I guess beauty stands up, but I think all different types of people are beautiful. I think you could be different shapes and be beautiful.
I saw something on TikTok or something the other day, and it was talking about how people with unique features now, and especially for like men, like the dirty rat boy, how we're starting to find that like people are finding that attractive.
Do you know what that is, Vita?
No,
I don't.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Marie and I spend too much time online, so she knows what I'm talking about.
That's a term, a dirty rat boy.
That's the new. So who is Chalamet?
Yeah,
What's
Timothy Chalamet, and then that guy from The Bear.
Yes,
and
we'll
Matt
pop
Healy.
their pictures at Matt Healy. Just these kind of like.
Yeah, I can see the attractiveness
because they have like unique features, and
yes.
But there's the theory is that, and then for women too, people with like more, like big strong noses or features that are more unique because between plastic surgery and fillers that everyone's starting to, and that like filler face, like you can see it and the lips, so people are starting to find features that are more unique, attractive, and I really like that idea because that is what makes us like beautiful is the differences, and I can definitely see the dirty rat boy attractiveness. So I'm like, I get that.
I think you've liked that look since high school.
That is not what I married, though.
No, but
you married a traditionally like attractive man.
Sorry. You've also heard like the thin neck, thick neck theory.
You shared that with us. Okay. That's the first time I heard it was from you.
So share it again.
So it's like the thin neck guys. You're either a thin neck girl where you like guys with thin necks, or a thick neck girl. But you can go from a thin neck girl to a thick neck girl, but you're not going to go back after you get a thick neck. So all my crushes before were thin neck, but then I married a thick neck guy, and I get it. It's got nothing to do with it. But anyhow, I don't know what that has to do with beauty or whatever, but I was never concerned with beauty. Like I didn't think I was beautiful in high school, college, like.
When did you start thinking you were pretty?
I don't know. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, it wasn't until after I got married that I was ever concerned about my weight. Like, I never worried about anything. I never worked out. I wish I would have worked out younger because I'm like, it would have been easier to build muscle. But I don't know exactly when that happened. Like, I think maybe it was when I was working as a professional and I started, like, getting ready in the morning, like, curling my hair and putting on makeup and, like...
Entering, like, the work.
Yeah, and maybe when I had money to buy, like... clothes that fit instead of just like stuff from a thrift store from hand-me-downs or just whatever I had around, like buying clothes that I felt good in, and then I was able to like
it snowballs after.
Yeah, I think so. But I wasn't sad, I wasn't beautiful. Like I was just like,
I think you're beautiful.
Well, thank you. But I was never.
So what did you think of yourself? What was your self-image then? I didn't not have like a looks component to it.
I didn't think I was ugly, but I didn't think I was beautiful. I was just like, I guess average. Like I was not worried about it.
Yeah, I was. How about you, Shelly?
I guess I felt more average, and I never had an era where I just said, that's my pretty era. I've had days where I'm like, oh, I think I look nice today. And those have just been spread out through all the eras.
You're about to get into your hot mama era. You need to
share
that. You need to share that.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to if it's private.
Oh, no, we can.
I mean, so Shelly, you did the gastric. You're going to do some like typical gastric surgeries after that to tighten everything up and like all that stuff.
Doing the tummy tuck and breast lift stuff to get rid of extra skin and just tighten things up. And the diastasis recti repair and have a hernia repair. So lots of stuff happening coming up.
So was any of that or how much of it is motivated by I want to feel standard beautiful?
No, all of that is cosmetic.
You're like,
except for the hernia repair, but I could do that without any of the other stuff and way less invasive. But so no, it's all aesthetics.
Have you started caring about that later, like now, or have you always?
I've always cared about it. I just didn't think it was attainable before, or it was harder to try to attain. And even when I would diet before, it would take so long to lose even a little bit. That by 2 years to lose 40 pounds, 2 years of a diet is a long time. So then you finally just quit, and then you gain the 40 pounds back plus 20 more. So then the next time you do your 2 year 40-pound diet, you're still 20 pounds heavier than you were the previous time. So I could never get to where I wanted. Again, that's one of the reasons we went to surgery. But yeah, all of the cosmetic surgery stuff is definitely just purely to look nice. So
are you, I mean, I know you've got stuff you want to like fix, but are you like in the mirror like, bam, bam, bam?
Right now?
Like,
No.
yeah. Oh, no. I would be. I mean, just like if I had like that much like I'd be like, well, girl, look at you. I mean, I'm doing it now. And I like didn't eat a donut this morning. Ooh.
Maria's the opposite of what she says.
The body
typical
dysphoria
body
is like-
dysmorphia.
I guess one of the things
Go
I was
the other
talking with Michelle about earlier was, I guess I never really paid much attention to neck up and like skincare and makeup and all of that because I was so like, well, if neck down doesn't look good, then what's the point? So I started watching like makeup tutorials, hence the makeup today I was practicing.
You look good. You look good, girlfriend.
But in the vacation, we just got back from, doing the pictures with the kids and seeing myself. And then obviously with some of the stuff we were doing for the podcast, I'm seeing myself on film more. And I'm like, I just look tired. And my husband's like, it's okay. You have 2 kids. I'll make sure I say I look tired.
That is the wrong answer.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I do. I just look really tired. And then I have smaller eyes anyway. So I'm like, I need to remember to like lift my eyebrows when I smile and take a picture. But normally they just close and they just look tired.
I've never cared. I don't know.
Marie, what do you care about? You go through life just not caring about anything, it sounds like.
I look good in my brain. I'm like, I think I did. I thought I didn't think I was very pretty, but I was like I never got negative feedback about the way I looked when I was younger. And
you were beautiful.
You
are beautiful.
Well, I mean,
you were like exceptionally beautiful.
But I don't think I was. I think I was very I think I was exceptional because I looked different than other, you know what I mean? Like there weren't other mixed. Yeah, like it was an exotic piece more than it was like, oh, you're like, this is very depressing when I do see other like mixed, like my age, mixed Filipino, Asian, whatever, white. And I'm like, oh, they're like legit beautiful. Like I was just like beautiful by default because nobody else was her. But anyway, so like, but I feel like that bank account got very like, I got pretty full. And so it's like, I got, what is it? The interest, like, compound interest. I'm living off compound interest. Like I invested early. I'm a ride into my 80s looking like just horrible. I mean, like literally, like so Mark took headshots of the guys at our office, and so he needed me to sit and do a headshot, like to get the lighting and all that stuff. So, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was just sitting there, like totally. And I put my hair up in a bun. I shouldn't have done it for this because what I'm about to tell you. And it was like, I looked at the pictures and I was like, that is a dude. That is a dude. And like Wilder will not nurse when I have my hair up in a bun. He makes me take it down. Like,
that's crazy.
But when I saw the picture of it, I was like, that is a dude. And like the ratio, like I used to have a very big head. Like I was a very like lollipop, like big head, little body, like proportion. And now my head is very small and my body is very big. And I'm like, that bothered me. I'm like, there are things that are starting to be like, rein it in, girl.
Maybe Mark's just not a good photographer.
It might be that too. I just
because you don't look like a dude at all. Your hair's pulled back now,
and your head still looks big.
Can
rude?
I love big heads.
In a lollipop.
My husband has a very big head. My children have big heads.
I like big heads. But yeah, so anyways, but I was like, oh, I probably should not have any swagger. If this is what I look like in the world, but whatever.
You deserve all the swagger you have.
But yeah, I don't know. I think if I was like out there dating and meeting new, I live with the same people. I don't drop my kids off at school, so I don't see other moms. I go to work with the people that I've worked there for 18 years, so they knew me when I was 22. In a lot of ways, the way we look at people is the way you first met them, so they don't think I've gotten like, you know what I mean? Like nobody's like, oh, you're an old lady. Everybody acts like I'm like the young kid. Like literally, people are like, oh, the new girl. That's what they call me. And so I'm like, my aura everywhere is like,
it's funny.
Still young and sprightly.
Kelly, when I told her, my sister, that I was going to do the surgery stuff, the plastic surgery stuff, she's like, why? You're married already.
That's my.
And I was like, I'm not doing it for him. So.
Yeah, I don't think my husband never like complain. He does. I think he finds me beautiful and he's always reassuring. So it's not that for me either. It's more of a personal deal, like to want to meet a certain standard, I guess, for myself. But yeah, my husband is very much, you look good, you're sexy, this and that. So.
Funny story. Shelly we had lunch before your pre-op appointment for your surgeries. And she showed me some of the pictures that her boobs might look like.
Bring pictures of the look you like and the size you like.
And I'm like, those are the kind of boobs I would like. Like, that's interesting. So I told Mark about it. I was like, yeah, Shelly showed me pictures of what the boobs could. And I was like, and they were really nice. Like, they looked real natural. They're the right size, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. And he was like, what did he was like, oh, he's like, you think that'd be interesting? I was like, yeah. I was like, he was like, how much? I'm like, this man saves leftovers from Taco Bell. He saves, like, money is so tight. He asked me how much. I was like, you want me? And of course, we didn't get it. I was just like, right? I don't know how much, if you want to disclose that on here. But it was just so funny because he is the tightest person in the world. And all of a sudden, like, some
to pay for it.
Movies, he was like, oh, let's
Isn't
discuss.
Isn't that funny? Because I was saying something the other day, like, oh, I might get a facelift one day, like a mini facelift, you know, when I'm like, and my husband's like, okay.
Like, I need a little push.
I've got the prices for the place that I go to. They have a little pamphlet, but the booth stuff's probably about $5,000.
Don't tell Mark that because he'll be like, get to.
It's not as much as you thought it would be for just that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the price for cosmetic surgeries come down a little bit, right? I mean, all technologies and surgeries and stuff, I feel
it doesn't seem like it's that crazy.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I'm doing multiple areas in one is because the anesthesia is part of the expense, and then the OR, and that way you get kind of pay that once and you get two things.
Well, more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do the recovery multiple times,
That's
too.
true.
Yeah.
It's a longer recovery, but I'm sure it's shorter than two separate recoveries.
Yeah, just based on Google, the recovery for boob stuff is like 2 weeks. I mean, it's nothing.
Do you think the recovery for this will be easier than for the bariatric surgery?
No. The bariatric surgery was laparoscopic, so I didn't have like a big incision. However, the pain was pretty bad from where they did like the internal stomach cutting work. So I really underestimated that because I thought my previous C-sections would have been worse because they were bigger cuts, but they didn't have as much internal pulling and jostling. So I was very unprepared for that. But no, this with the tummy tuck, it'll go hip bone to hip bone slice. I mean, I'll be cut almost in half kind of thing. So and then with the muscle repair, he's going to be sewing my muscles back together. So that, I'm afraid it's going to hurt. The muscle repairs, where I think the pain's going to be, really nervous for the pain factor. So, not like nervous that there's going to be like a complication that's going to be bad, just that I'm going to have to be in pain for a week.
Hopefully they give you a lot of good pain pills.
Yeah, when I leave, the day of the surgery, when you leave, they'll give you a pain blocker, like the anesthesiologist will. So that first day, you'll have some pretty good stuff. And then after that, it'll just be your basic prescription pain meds until you can get off those, which hopefully 2 or 3 days. And then into
the
this
Tylenol.
Yeah. I love it. Well, let's land this plane. I don't know. That's what other podcasters say. What is something you would want to say to 20, 30-year-old you about beauty?
About beauty.
About beauty. And
I was just going to say start lifting weights because I feel
that's
like
beauty. I mean, yeah.
putting that muscle in the, like, it's really hard for me to build muscle. So if I just started earlier, like, I had to just, it would be there.
That compound interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess I would just love yourself and just really just see your beauty and accept it, and I don't know, just love yourself and just really like live in your beauty. Like don't think you're too fat or not good enough because you're hot stuff, ma'am.
I had no idea. I guess I like the lift weights things. I wish I had done that before, just for the muscle tone and the strength.
Yeah. So, I mean, keep doing what you're doing, girl.
Marie, you've got to let down some of these walls. I'm thinking Marie's putting up a wall.
No,
absolutely.
No,
this is not true. We've known you.
No,
Come on.
I know. I'm
no
not,
insecurities at all.
No, not. I mean, of course, I was insecure about my boobs, but that's the thing is, like, now I've lived long enough, and I'm like, my boobs have been amazing at like feeding. Like, I never had problems nursing, so it's like, yeah, y'all sucked in 8th grade when I wanted boobs like everybody else. But I'm like, I think now and if you ask me, like, when I'm 19, 20.
Do you feel like your boobs were too small?
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, there's so many, like.
I love small boobs.
Now I do. Yeah.
I would don't.
Oh, I wanted them so bad, though. Like, when I was younger, like, yeah, it was like, and I just felt like a boy because I didn't have a butt either. Like, just my body was a boy shape. Like, it was definitely like that. But I feel like I got enough, like, positive feedback on other things that it didn't, like, it wasn't like all, and then I had a boyfriend, so it wasn't like, you know, you just got positive feedback on other things that kind of outweighed it. But yeah, I mean, like, I remember being like, oh, like in college, like I wore a water bra all the time. So it's like even that, like the pictures of me from, I'm like, oh, it's still not real. Like, that's not what Marie looked like naked.
Do they still have water bras? That was a thing. Huh?
Yeah. Now they have like those little like cuppies that like suction to you. Like they use your body heat to.
Oh, you don't even have to wear anything.
Yeah, you don't have to wear.
I'm not wearing.
You don't wear bras. Yeah,
I hate wearing bras.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Like I was like,
I do when I work out. I wear a sports bra, but other than that,
yeah. Like I haven't worn underwire since.
I hate underwires.
Yeah. Like a long time. So no, like I definitely have insecurities, but I'm like, but for the most part, I'm like, I think I, you know, it's like kind of pretty privilege of like, I didn't get caught up in a lot of it because I was like, there's something else that's good about, you know, like.
Do you think kids now have it worse with social media that they're like, because I feel like, honestly, I don't know why this memory just came back to me, but I was never ever insecure. And then it was after I was married and I was in law school. And it was my spring break, and we got cable for the first time. And I didn't have the same spring break as my husband. And I watched America's Top Model all week.
Oh,
after that, that's when I was like, oh, I am fat. And you know, I was old by that point. Not old, but you know, like I was married. I never had any insecurities, like really. And then I was like, oh no, like that's. So I like if you're bombarded with this on social media all the time, it must be very different then. And I think. Maybe that's why, for the most part, we weren't as like obviously, but they say like comparisons. That envy, there's a thief of
joy or
joy. Yeah, envy is a thief of joy or whatever. And maybe that's like it. Like it's just so much more to compare yourself to now.
And it's like seeping down. Like before, it was like, it was just the girls on MTV that you were comparing. But then when you went out with your friends, you were like, oh, I'm a normal person and this is what normal people look like. But now they have like they're constantly
and the people on there are always using filters or posting themselves to the best angles. That's not what they look like in real life either. But
I remember being in college and being like starting to get down like, oh, you don't have a butt, you don't have boobs or whatever, and like, but I'd noticed I was watching like a lot of reality TV, and so I was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch this because that's feeding my brain. Like I remember being cognizant of that in like.
Well, I think I look worse in pictures than I do in person. So. Like I could stand here and say, oh, that's one of my pretty days. You take my picture 5 seconds later, and I'm like, oh, I look like crap in this picture. So I think them having to take pictures of themselves and put that out there, too, they have to be able to either like what they see or filter it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that
and that messes with your brain, I think, about.
You post on, you don't ever use filters, do you?
No, I was very like, when they started coming out, like even like the beauty thing, I was just like scared to fall in love with that version of me and then never be happy in the mirror. That was like my rule. Like I don't mind using a filter, like somebody else puts one on. Like I don't mind. It was funny. So I did a video one time and used like the glam filter, and I was making fun of like because I don't speak Tagalog, so I was like, oh, like that, you know, like doing like a Filipino accent, and I showed my boss, and he was like, wow, you look amazing. Like, he was like, who did your makeup? And I was like, that's a filter. But I was like, but that would be so depressing if everybody is, even yourself,
giving you good feedback on that, and you don't actually look like.
So I was like, no, we don't use
I used filters a little bit when they first started coming out, but I don't as much because some of the filters are so obviously filters. It's kind of like I mean, you could tell. Yeah, I guess maybe the newer filters I heard are a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But like the old filters, like you could tell if it's like glamorous filter, like
And I just
the eyelashes are ridiculous and stuff like that.
This is a bit of like, you know, I don't know. I shouldn't be saying this about the sisterhood, but like there's older women than us, so like the 50 to 6-year-olds. So, you know, they're young, really. Like, I mean, but a lot of them that I've seen online, like they'll use filters but they'll just like go ham with it. Like, and you're like, that's not what you look like, Becky. Right. Like there's nobody believes it. And so I just like, I cringe at the thought of like, you know, like having no self-control or self-awareness about like, you've gone too far.
Even some people our age, like people we went to high school with sometimes, I'm like, I haven't seen you in 20 years, but I'm pretty sure you don't look like that.
Right.
Young kids are using filters now. I think it's everything. It's just it's the drive to look perfect on social media is just more important than to
the
real.
consequences of the reality of like, what if you see this person at Walmart and they're going to be like, that's not you. Like, but there's thousands of people who will never ever see you in Walmart and you're trying to impress those.
Right. Yeah. But think what that, I mean, just seeing other people with these filters on, what it does to you, but seeing yourself. And then when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, that's not like, then you think, I agree with your reasoning, Marie.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to ever
scary.
be sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Immediately. I mean, that's been a big reason I don't wear makeup because I'm too lazy. But I'm like, also like, okay, if you can't go out without makeup, that like, because my mom will not go out without makeup. And I'm like, but you're so beautiful. Like, you've tricked yourself because you're beautiful without makeup.
But do you think you could live in a world where it's like kind of a happy medium? Like, you could do makeup and look good for a weekend and one night out. But that doesn't mean like you always have to.
Right. No. Like, I think once I'm out of like baby phase, I'm going to be back to like, oh, I care about like trying to make my hair look a certain, I mean, there's a lot. I mean,
Matt and I were having a date night and I did my makeup and everything. And Everly asked me, why don't you ever wear makeup when you're just with us? And I was like, 'cause it's too much work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I think
It's funny, when Kaya was around that age, she asked why I didn't wear up shoes like the other moms. This is when we lived in El Paso.
High heels.
And yeah, like they would come pick up their kids all dressed, and I was in workout clothes and tennis shoes. And
you're like, because I have to keep this looking like this.
but it is funny what the kids say. And even now, like Kaya's like, I almost never wear eyeliner like day to day, but Kaya and Jeff love it when I wear eyeliner. So like, I'm like, okay, I'll put on eyeliner for them.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Well, I think, is there any other questions?
No, we're all beautiful.
We are beautiful.
Everybody's beautiful.
In all of our phases. I never thought that we weren't beautiful. I thought we were very
I do
cute.
think you three are exceptionally beautiful people, though. Like, everyone's beautiful in their own way, but you guys are exceptional. So,
Thank you.
I
think that goes for all of us.
Yeah.
I think to maintain friendships this long, like, you just got to be good people.
Exactly.
Let's bloom together. Why am I so nervous?